Hey, it's the Nerdy Sports Fan. We're breaking down Week 2 games, and let's get down into the Steelers versus the Seahawks. So, the Steelers got thumped last week, all right? They just, 33-3, that's bad, all right? Mike Tomlin's a good coach. Good coaches still don't do great when they lose a heck of a lot of talent. And I understand the locker room's a better place to be in when you don't have Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown there. I get it. But, they looked kind of lost against New England. So I don't think that's going to continue. I think Tomlin's a great coach. I think Roethlisberger is too talented a quarterback to really think he's going to stay down. But this is a very tough game to call. Very tough game to call because, well, the Steelers are at home. They're coming off a bad loss. They shouldn't have been beaten that badly, and they've got some pride to play for. And Seattle, how did they only just barely beat Cincinnati? You know, they were down most of that game. They came back to win because they're a tough team with a good coach and good, leadership on that team. But why was it that close? So this is an odd one. Vegas has the Steelers as a 4-point favorite. That makes sense to me because they're at home. So they get the 3-point bump for being at home. But I don't actually think they're a point favorite on a neutral field. So I would bet Seattle in this one. And I think Pittsburgh wins, but just barely. Just barely. They might win by a point, a field goal at best. I think this game is going to be very, very close. Okay? I don't think Seattle can stop James Conner. I think he's going to be far better in Game 2 than he was in Game 1 because, well, Pete Carroll's defenses, they're not necessarily as good as Bill Belichick's defenses. I think that playing for pride, the Steelers are going to find a way to win this, but I think Seattle keeps it close enough to bet them in the spread. I just don't see them losing by 4 points. I do think they're overall, by the end of the season, going to be the better team out of these two. I just think they're coming in the wrong situation where Pittsburgh's got a chip on their shoulder, and it's going to be hard to knock that off. It really is. So, fantasy football-wise, Juju Smith-Schuster might be a wide receiver 2, probably more like a flex play, quality play in this game. James Conner is going to be a running back 2. Chris Carson is going to be running back 1. I think everybody devalued this guy in draft hype. I don't know why. I picked him up in my leagues in like round 5 or 6, and he's definitely a round 2 talent from running back. People forgot, I guess, that he was part of the best rushing attack in the league last season and the number 1 back in that backfield rotation. Rashard Penny is just not going to get the love there, okay? It's Chris Carson, right, left, middle. That's their offense right now. So, Tyler Lockett owners, I'm sorry. Bench him until they prove that the passing game is as important to them as the running game there in Seattle. Chris Carson owners, running back 1, okay? Put him out there. Russell Wilson, probably a bench play right now. There's plenty of quarterbacks out there putting up 30 points. He's not one of them. All right? As far as Pittsburgh goes, James Conner is, again, running back 2 to a flex. Juju is wide receiver 3 to a flex. And Roethlisberger is usually a good backup quarterback. I don't see him as a start this week. I don't see Russell Wilson as a start this week. They're both riding the pine. Put your Phillip Rivers and your Tom Brady's out there because they will do far better this week. Again, the Seahawks cover the spread, and there's not really a great deal of good fantasy options this game, but the big names are always worth putting out there. So like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit up the rest of the videos to see what you should do with your fantasy team the rest of week 2.